this is almost like a boutique item, where it's in its own continuity, it's got superstar creators on it, and it has nothing to do with anything else. And it's about a more niche character, but it's not exploitative. It doesn't have 1,000 holographic covers. It's just a book.
Does it have a cover where you can like take it apart and fold it, and then it has a 3D pop-up?
Yeah, sadly,
like a paper frame.
No, unfortunately, none of them can do that because that's proprietary. Every single element of a fold-out cover is copyrighted and trademarked.
Who would do that?
They patented that shit. Who would do that? The company that did it. I don't remember the name. And no one does because they don't exist anymore. Hey, everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
We should probably change the name from Back Issues to New Issues because here's Daredevil Cold Day in Hell from Charles Soule and Steve McNiven.
More like Slack Issues.
That's true, because I'm not doing books where I need to do more research.
Oh, I just read this. Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, it's fresh in my head. I don't have to do anything.
There we go. I can do the Korvac saga, or I can do this book that just came out like a week ago.
I can spend hours researching the Korvac saga, or I can just do this.
Or I can just do Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. I want to do this because this book is awesome, and it showed up out of nowhere. I got a text from a friend who was like, "Are you getting Daredevil Cold Day in Hell?" And I'm like, "Never heard of it. Don't even know what you're talking about."
Who is this? Spam caller.
And I was like, let me see what that is. Poink. Like, my job is to know when these things are coming out. This is right up my alley, and I didn't even know it existed, or that it was in the works, and it was over. And I was like, yeah, I'm reading it, you poser. And so I grabbed them all. No. And it was great. It's exactly what I wanted. I'm like, this is yes, do more of this. So,
well, too bad you didn't put your money where your mouth was when they were actually selling it.
I know, but I did spend $6.99 per issue. No. That said, here's why. 1, it has no ads in it. That's all of them. Otherwise,
that's pretty good.
Which is pretty good.
Ads are annoying.
Thank God. It doesn't have a big, ugly in-house ad for some irrelevant Marvel story, or some big, ugly Twix ad that cuts through the middle of the page and goes, read the comic up here and pick up the left Twix bar on here. No, pick up the right Twix bar. So what is Daredevil Cold Day in Hell? It's just Charles Soule's end of Daredevil story. Bendis did one, which we covered, called End of Days. And so Charles Soule, who had done a big run on Daredevil, was like, now I get a turn. And he had worked with Steve McNiven in the past. They did a Boba Fett series together. And they were like, let's do this. And it's been in works since like 2019, but then COVID happened and everything got delayed. And so inevitably they got to it. And this is a true collaboration where like Soule would write kind of like a loose outline. Like, so then Daredevil jumps over here and then he kicks ass and it's got to look really cool and epic. And then Steve McNiven would be like, what the fuck? And then he'd draw it and then Charles Soule would be like, brilliant! You can tell that because every issue has actual script notes and thumbnails drawn by McNiven. So you can actually like see the process, which is awesome. And I really appreciate that kind of meta text in an actual individual floppy. I hope it's in
you don't see that
deluxe
very often.
edition. I hope there is one.
See, there is an ad in this book, but it's for itself.
That's fair. I mean, no, it's like bonus.
It's like bonus content, yeah.
Supplemental material. Yeah. It's like an audio commentary.
You want bonus feature? Try Twix.
So this is yet another post-apocalyptic book.
In a row.
It seems to be very popular.
I feel like
theme.
it's really in people's craws. Odd that a lot of these ideas sprouted up around COVID.
What if civilization collapsed?
Yeah.
It just seems particularly relevant right now. I don't know.
So Daredevil Cold Day in Hell is just another post-apocalyptic, here's what this superhero does at the end of their life kind of story, written by Charles Soule, who had a run on Daredevil that I was not a huge fan of. But you know what? I am a huge fan of this. And I was like, where was this? But the thing about it is, it's self-contained, and it gets to be just that much more dramatic because it's the end. McNiven is interesting because he's doing something a little different with his art style. It's a lot more gritty, and he's adapting it to the themes of this story. He's Civil War and the death of Wolverine. In fact, Charles Soule and Steve McNiven worked on that, and that's what began their partnership. They killed Wolverine, and they were like, what if we killed Daredevil? But out of continuity, so it'd be more cool.
I remember being disappointed in the end.
Yes, the end was very disappointing. Yeah. And they undid it within like 5 years, but still, 5 years. I was like, that's a respectable amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was
maybe
going to stick like a year,
Alfred.
maybe.
Yeah, well, it's been more than
It's
that
been
now.
more, yeah.
Poor Alfred. Alfred's a hologram right now. So story opens and it's winter, and of course, we're playing with the whole cold day in hell motif. Matt is using his blindness cane to identify a gravestone. We see that he's in Long Island City, outside Manhattan, and he's at Wilson Fisk's grave.
I'm sorry, Wilson Fisk got buried in Long Island?
I guess.
Sure, maybe he's from there or something. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just an excuse for us to show the cool setting that Daredevil lives in. Because Daredevil has to enter Manhattan.
Right.
Was the real estate just too expensive for him to be buried in New York?
I mean,
There's a lot of kingpin to bury.
Where do people from New York get buried? Because it's not like there's
Right?
many
Jersey.
cemeteries.
Yeah, I mean, not in Manhattan, probably.
Yeah.
You know all those snow piles in the wintertime? They
Yeah.
just save the bodies,
Right, and then they
put them out
dump
when
them
it
out.
snows.
And then the plow
Oh,
takes them out.
Plow pushes them all and we dump them
It
in
just
the
kind of takes care of itself. you know?
Exactly, yeah.
I imagine a lot of cremation.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's that steam that shoots out of the ground.
Those are the subways.
Crematoriums
Oh my God,
running
is it?
24/7 in
Yeah.
the wintertime.
That's right.
Jesus.
He's indicating that he may actually be totally blind as opposed to his usual, routine.
Right.
Which is to he is blind,
Right.
but he's Daredevil too.
Yeah.
So, like, his senses are not what they used to be.
Magic
are-
sight is gone.
Yeah, and I'm burying the lead here, but yes, his powers are gone. The world is a wreck. The heroes, for the most part, are gone to some nebulous event that happened.
But this ain't about that.
But who cares about that? It's about Matt. And all the other characters would overshadow him the way they do sales-wise in the publishing initiative if they were to show up, so let's not. Because one does show up, and it's an amazing moment. And you want to get more information about it, so we got to kill him too. Get him out of there.
Oh no.
So Matt is at the grave of Wilson Fisk. Fisk is dead. We assume that Matt has some kind of innate guilt associated with Fisk's passing.
That's just because he's Catholic.
I mean, it's just because it's Matt Murdoch. You can blame it on the Catholicism, but the reality is Matt Murdoch would feel that guilt regardless of his religion. But in this case, yes, he is definitely even more religious than he was before. And in fact, he's given up his practice and instead now runs a soup kitchen. Mostly because people in Manhattan could use it.
Oh my
Things
God,
are
did
bad.
he kill Wilson Fisk with his soup kitchen?
Right, yeah, he just beat him to death with a ladle.
I was just going to say, I just kept feeding him. I sent him 7 spiral hams
Feeding him.
for winter one day.
Keep eating. And then the cholesterol did its work. But he talks about how his powers are gone. I'm just a regular old blind guy now.
There's no date on this tombstone.
No, and it's interesting because there's actually some supplemental material where they say, should we put a date on here?
Well,
Like
that'll
every
date the
tombstone
book.
in history?
Right, with the comic books, they don't. I remember vividly finally seeing Uncle Ben and shortly thereafter Aunt May's grave. And there ain't no numbers on that tombstone because that would date the book.
Right.
And Soul talked about whether they should or should not date the book. I think they said that Fisk died in 2036 in the supplemental material. But then it's like, you know what? I appreciate that there are no dates on here because again, this book could be read anytime. At some point or another, all these comics are going to be period pieces.
Right.
But I digress. So Matt tells Fisk, Jessica asked me if I had any regrets. Everything that happened to me is all part of God's plan. What a beautiful life I have. Beauty and joy as far as the eye can see.
Ha ha
So
ha.
that means none.
Right. And then he talks about a beautiful phrase, God's plan, all part of God's plan is, and how it covers everything. No matter what situation you're in, whether it's darkness or light, happy, sad, miserable, death, God's plan gives you some kind of purpose and lets everything kind of have a meaning.
Yeah,
even
but
if there is no meaning.
the world is crap right now. Is that also God's plan?
Yes,
Right.
and that's Matt's I was meant to have powers and I was meant to lose them. Now that's something that he kind of learns as he goes, or at least he feels like he learns as he goes. But yeah, the God's plan thing is something that he hangs on to throughout the story. It's a little bit of a motif.
It's a way for him to not feel as bad about what's happening.
Oh,
It's like-
certainly about what's happening or any of the decisions he's made.
right, because if it wasn't part of God's plan, oh my God.
Oh, Jesus
Life
Christ,
would
and I
be
screwed
horrible.
up.
Yeah, and I made terrible mistakes, and it's only on me.
Yeah, and I also
That
probably
sucks.
think and believe that deeply
Yeah.
within me. But
Yes.
as long as I just shout platitudes into the screaming wind,
Yeah, I
I'll
can
be okay.
keep the demons at bay.
We see these people just milling around Long Island City. We see them going into these facilities. We got armed guards and security cameras, and Matt gets
They're all sad and miserable. So just like a normal winter day in New York.
Yeah, that's true. You can know it's in the future because they say, support your heroes overseas, buy war crypto bonds, as a kind of propaganda poster. I love the idea of them kind of like hearkening back to like the golden age of propaganda, and comic book superhero associations. There was a war. Again, this war wasn't just here.
It looks like there's still a war. It says support your heroes overseas, like actively support them.
That's an old poster. I think that's like an old poster from a couple of years ago.
I was thinking like Forever War. It's like 1984.
It is
like
a
the war
forever
never.
war. They are doing that because like they talk about how they made a declaration of peace, but the war never really ended. So yes, it is a 1984 ref. Anyway, so Matt gets on the ferry to go back to Manhattan because that's where he lives. He can never leave. Except to go visit, the graves of his greatest enemies. I love the ferry that Matt takes. It's just like an old ship, and they're 50 years old. Sometimes they sink. No one's keeping up with them. We use them until they fall apart.
Right.
That's the life we're leading here.
And like, this is the best we can hope for. We don't have like repairs. We don't have people that are good at this kind of stuff.
No.
Civilization is not moving forward.
Yeah, we're
No,
just
slowly
burning
dying.
through our
Yes,
inventory.
we're burning through. Yeah, exactly. So
Yikes.
we have Matt on the ferry, and I love Matt being like, it stinks. And if I had my powers, it'd be unbearable on this ferry. And I'm surrounded by just like
Well, glass half
misery.
full.
Yeah, right? Hey, it'd be much worse. But he's like, I got to get out of here. So he goes up on the deck, just breathes in the cold
The upper
air.
deck.
The upper decker.
Dude walks up to him and just kind of like, hey, and he's talking about the view. He's talking about the sight. Matt won't really engage him. He's like, what, you think you're too good to talk to me? It's right in front of your face. And then he indicates he has a cane. He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm an asshole.
It's all part of God's plan. As we see, like, the Brooklyn Bridge
All like destroyed.
covered in, like, signs like never forget, never surrender. Something
So we
bad
were
happened
attacked.
here. Yeah, we were attacked, or the superhero fight that was meant
Right.
to defend New York fell out of hand. We don't get anything. We don't know what happened here. And I don't want to know.
I want to know.
I want to know as much as I see it and I'm like, that's awesome. But I don't want a book that's like,
Here's all
Daredevil,
the
Cold Day
backstory.
in Hell, the Hero War.
The prelude.
Yeah, no. I like the world building and just enough. It's really cool. The amount of restraint that's in this book is unbelievable. So Matt gets off the ferry, he goes into Manhattan, and a beggar comes up to him and he's like, hey, do you have any money? Takes out a roll. He's blind. He's got to have like your money in a particular
Right.
arrangement
Yeah.
to know. And he sees the roll, and so he pushes Matt down the stairs into the subway. And Matt's like falling, and he's like, you've done this a million times. You don't have your powers, but you know how to move. So he starts to twist, and he pivots and doesn't break every bone in his body as he falls down the stairs. So we got two guys now. The guy who pushed him and his partner. The guy comes up behind him and grabs him, and they take his cane, they like hit him with it, and they take his money. He's like, look, take what you need, leave me something, and come to my soup kitchen. You both seem like you could use some help. And I don't know what you look like, so I'll never know. And you can see the second guy actually looks like kind of tempted by the offer because he's probably hungry and desperate. And he's like, yeah,
Oh, I want that money, but
Right.
food would be better.
food would be kind of nice. And he's like, and we even have beds. They fill up fast, but like you could take a break for a
You could
minute.
bunk up.
You could bunk up. That's true. You guys seem like you're kind of tight. So, and the guy who mugged him takes all the money and goes, good to know. And he takes the cane and he runs up and he goes, please leave me the cane. You don't need it. And the guy turns around, he looks at him and he goes, you're lucky I'm a nice guy. And he throws it at him. And it like bounces down the stairs and he's like, I can hear it. Here it comes. And it just hits him in the face. Like, this is how far gone Daredevil is. There's no radar sense. It's
Right.
just darkness.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, what an idiot.
And then he just lays down and cries. And the book is over.
Right. And the rest of it's just Spider-Man. What's he doing here?
Anyway.
We don't get anything. And again, I'm a big Spider-Man booster. I love that he's not even referenced in this. It's not like Matt goes, oh, poor Peter, whatever happened to him, or anything like that. I like the idea that, like, maybe he's alive. Maybe he's doing something out here, you know? Anyway, doesn't matter. No reference to it. Because, again, would overshadow. Too much. Too many references. I think the implication is that, like, Matt inherited the gym, like Battling Jack Murdoch's, like, boxing gym, and he's converted it into a soup kitchen. which is still called Battling Jacks.
Yeah, because no one needs to fight right now.
Right? Well, I mean, like, they do, but
Yeah,
you
but-
know, nobody's doing any recreational sports.
Yeah, paying money to train to fight is not high on anyone's list.
Exactly. So I love it because like every facility seems to have these old, chunky radios that get broadcasts about what's going on, about like the wars. So this book is kind of a fun like anachronism where it's like a throwback to like the 40s, but also it's
Was there like
the
an
future.
EMP or something?
There must have been something that like knocked out modern technology to bring everything back, which also makes this book feel uniquely New York to me.
Well-
Because New York is just a concrete jungle. Like I don't see New York as like a technological marvel. Because when I used to go to New York,
Well, 'cause it's
I would
not.
go to like Brooklyn. Yeah, exactly. But like when I would go to New York, I'd go to Brooklyn like every Sunday. And Brooklyn, when I was going, was just brick and concrete. You know, there was nothing new in any of the areas that I went when it came down to New York. So I associate New York very much with like a place that's like cemented in time. And it's like, yes, there's like big, beautiful new buildings. Those are all knocked down in this. You know, there were like 10 9/11s in Cold Day in Hell. But the rest of it, you know, it's just whatever we got. And it's the crank radios and like old flashlights and just making what we can, you know.
Well, this is
That's cool.
the cool thing about that is that one, he doesn't need a TV.
Right.
He can't see it anyway.
Yeah, he's only got the radio. He doesn't need it, yeah.
But two, do you know how much goes into trying to produce an actual show? Like sets, cameras, all of that technology
Oh, yeah,
you need?
that's true.
Just a radio?
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
You can easily make that.
I get the impression that these radios are just like government-sanctioned radios that give you the news.
Yeah,
like, this is state-sponsored
they look like
radio.
PA systems.
They do, yeah.
Like it's it's hardwired.
Yeah.
There's no free airwaves.
No.
This is like you get it from
when the
one
government
source.
gives you an announcement, you
Yeah.
get it in every building, and everyone just shut up and listen.
Yeah, it's 1984.
Yeah.
Again, 1994. Yeah.
Yeah, like latest update from the Southern Front. He's just like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
General Barton's border teams have captured 4 attempted DB infiltrators in the last week, and I'm like, what's a DB?
DB?
Yeah, it could be a negative term, but I looked into it a little heavier and I couldn't find anything. And multiple different interpretations of what DBs were. I also see DBs as the sounding out of what it actually is, which is DB.
Yeah, the letter's DB, which stands for something.
Something, and I don't know what it is. Now that I could have used a little bit more. Just to kind of know what I'm talking about.
Deadbeats.
Deadbeats, could be deadbeats, but
Like
like
their
they don't...
name for anyone who tries to get in. Well, they're infiltrators
Sure, but...
at the border.
Right, but who are they, and what are they trying to do?
And are they trying to infiltrate us, or are we infiltrating them?
And they talked about how later in the book, they're like, oh no, is this another DB attack? I'm like, what is that? And I don't know. It's just a neat little world building piece. And also I think it's supposed to cement it in a feeling of like wartime.
Right.
So Matt goes outside to throw out some garbage, and he hears some folks running out of the subway talking about a bomb. Then the bomb goes off.
Yikes. That's a
And
big bomb.
it's a big bomb, and it has some kind of like a green tint to it. Matt is caught in the explosion. He's knocked on his ass, and when he comes to, he gets his radar sense back.
What?
Oh,
He
shit.
can hear everything. The bomb that went off has some element of radioactivity to it. It was a dirty bomb that was set off in the
Oh,
subway.
jeez.
And I won't
It like
barely
recharged
hear-
his powers?
Yes, it recharged his powers.
It was the Turtles.
Which it should be.
Interesting.
The portrayal of Matt getting his powers back is amazing because you see like the radar sense, and it's made in the shape of a bullseye, which I appreciate. But he hears people screaming for help, a baby screaming, and it all kind of coalesces. You see like all these different images, people laughing, heartbeats, and it all just kind of condenses into his head. And it's silenced by his memories of Stick being like, get it together. And he gets
Right, he's
kicked
going back to his core training.
Yes.
Right.
And he's like,
You've done this once. You have to do it again.
yep,
Tune everything out. Focus on a single thing.
that's right. So he finds this woman who is screaming for help. He finds her out of the whatever radioactivity.
Oh, this is interesting because his glasses get knocked off.
Yeah. And boom, he's Matt. Picks her up, brings her to someone, you know, so like, help her out, get her out of here. He's like, I hear the EMTs, they're on their way. And so he starts like helping people up. Just immediately gets right into help mode. Picking up folks. He's hearing the like radioactivity alarms go off.
Yeah, he's saving all these people so they could die from radiation sickness agonizingly.
It's not an overtly radioactive bomb. This is a bomb made specifically for a purpose.
Setting off radiation detectors.
Yeah, but these are specific. These aren't like old radioactivity detectors.
Oh.
These are detectors for what I think are DBs. I think this is like a power detector because so much of the Marvel universe comes from radioactivity.
So you think this is someone trying to like make superheroes with a?
I know it is.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, interesting. All right. So it's the non-dangerous kind of radiation. It's the good kind of radiation.
It's a subtle kind that the kind of radiation you get better from. Yeah, that's the kind he's got.
Well, this is it.
So Matt wants to figure out what's going on, so he descends into the subway, and there's just death. So many people have been like crushed by debris under there.
And it's okay, maybe they'll form back into one giant corpse person.
Exactly, and then go through the green door. And
there's a lot of green around.
Yeah. So he hears a voice, and the voice is like, that worked like a charm. And he's like, okay, so that's the guy who set off the bomb, and he's carrying what looks like Captain America's shield. Matt doesn't necessarily know that. We can see that thanks to the book.
Yeah.
But he says, look what I got. The boss is going to love this. And so Matt starts chasing after him, and he's like, wait a minute. And he hears a heartbeat, and he's like, I know what that sound is. And he finds Steve Rogers holding up a huge section of concrete under the ground to protect this one young girl. And the image of Steve with rebar stuck through his body and his like grizzled old visage and him just going, Murdoch. With this old grizzled speech bubble, it's just great. And he's just like, what are you doing here, man? You're not supposed to be here. You're inactive. And he's like, my powers are back. I don't know what happened. The bomb maybe set it off. Anyway, can you hold on? Emergency teams are coming. And he's like,
I have rebar in me, man.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going anywhere, man. Just take the girl and get out and then listen. She's important. So Matt takes the girl and he starts to leave and he's like, she's what he wanted. So Matt leaves as Steve holds up
mission.
And Steve was protecting her.
Yeah. So Matt's running out of the subway as it's like collapsing, and he has to pull a whole Daredevil maneuver. Like there's chunks falling, and he's jumping off of them to get topside. While he's listening, because his hearing's amazing, he can hear Steve still talk to him. There was a shipment, like a military shipment, moving chemicals. There was a part of a plan to get ahead of the DBs called the New Warrior Project. So Matt carries the girl to the EMTs, and then he's like, I gotta go back. And he hears Steve's heartbeat stop.
Oh, never mind.
Matt's like, okay, I've got the girl. She's less important. Steve clearly is giving up his life to save her. And he's like, all right, the girl's safe. He gives her to the EMTs, and then he tries to go right back to Steve. He's like, I gotta
not the EMTs. They're in on it.
But, well, yeah. So he's like throwing the debris out of the way. He's like, I got you, Steve, as he's hearing the heartbeat go until it flatlines. And he's like, shit. So we
And
got
then
him.
he turns around and the girl's gone.
Yeah.
And he has no idea where she went.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
no.
Oh, I failed.
And the EMTs are disguised.
Yeah.
Like they're the guys who set off the bomb in the first place. And this was one guy who's got
It was all too easy.
there's one guy who's got a gold tooth, and he's just so enamored with how successful their mission was, and that he got Captain America's shield. And he's like, "Oh my God, look at this! It's amazing. It's probably worth a lot of money." And the guy's like, "Yeah, well, you're gonna have to give it to the boss, because otherwise he's gonna kill you." So Matt's like, "I see you," and just starts whipping concrete at them. And they're like, "Oh shit!" So they open fire on him, and Matt's dressed. They say he's dressed like a priest, and I don't know if Matt's a priest. I feel like that's the most cliche thing you can do with Matt Murdoch in the future, but whatever. But he's wearing like black head to toe, which of course is a good homage to like the Frank Miller retcon of Matt's first costume, which is no costume; it's just black. But Matt does some amazing Daredevil maneuvering to get out of the way, and they're like, whoa, old guy's really spry, what the crap? So they hop in the ambulance, they take off, and he's chasing after them. And he's like, I'm still coming, you bastards, I got you. And so he's running on the rooftops alongside this ambulance. The ambulance starts driving through Tent City and just starts hitting
Oh, Jesus.
folks.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
damn it! So he's like, all right, I know exactly what to do. And he reaches for his billy club and realizes that he's not Daredevil.
Right.
And just like, oh shit! And barely manages to stop himself from falling off the top of the building.
I'm just gonna. Oh no.
I'm just going to swing around. Oh, no.
Yeah. He's like, I've done this 1,000,000 times. Just take the club. Ugh. And the image of him just like perched on the side of the building. I love old man character stories. They're so awesome. But he's like, could have ended right there. All right, well, I just got to stretch out my radar sense a little further, listen for him. Where are you? There you are. He's gone, but I've got your scent. So then we have this team. They get to their hideout. They knock on the door, and we see that their boss is Bullseye. And Bullseye is disgusting. Like, he is old and wrinkled and scarred and pockmarked. Like, there's a lot going on with Bullseye.
Is he like vibrating constantly?
Bullseye's got the shakes.
I was gonna say, like, he probably can't throw things anymore.
He can't throw things anymore. Well, he can. As Bullseye puts it, he can still hit them. It just takes a few more. So,
Like, I might miss the first two, but I'll get you.
oh, I'll get you. I just got to throw more of them.
Okay.
But you also have these moments like Bullseye is constantly messing with like needles, not like syringes, but just like acupuncture needles, and he's just poking them in pressure points to try and calm the shakes. And there's a moment where like his hand's shaking, and he just puts the needle through his hand to stop it. This is Bullseye.
Yikes.
So he's like, hey, how'd the mission go? Did you still have the bomb? They're like, yeah, pretty clean. He's like, pretty clean is another way to say dirty.
Yeah. Something went wrong. Just tell me.
So the gold tooth dude like gives him Captain America's shield, and he's like, oh shit. I haven't seen this in years. If I could just stop shaking. And then just puts it through, and then he just cradles it and lies on it. And he's like, oh, I didn't. Man, the Steve Rogers I know wouldn't have gone down easy. And he's like, oh no, he's dead. And he's like, but there was another guy who was jumping around. He's like, what did he look like? And he's like, I don't know. He looked like an old guy. And the one of them's like, a priest. He looked like a priest. And he's like,
I'd like it if while he's holding the shield, it's just vibrating back at him.
right, because it's
Like,
made
oh
of,
no.
yeah, it's like, "Ah." Man, I'd say everything is right on target. Matt goes back to his place, opens up an old trunk. There's his Daredevil costume, busts it out. So Bullseye takes the shield, and he goes up to a character you don't see right away. And he's like, hey, you remember this? You loved this guy, didn't you? I bet it makes you real sad to see it in my hands, huh? Well, anyway, moving on. Frank Castle is embedded to the wall of Bullseye's hideout with
my
his
God.
arms and legs missing and his stumps fused with tubes to keep him alive.
Oh my God. What?
He even goes, you want to hold it? It's just grotesque. It's
It
just meant to be
looks
like
hideous.
woof.
Yeah.
And I love that they're like, I don't know if you're going to get that this is Punisher. So how about Bullseye carved a Memento Mori skull on his chest? I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm okay with that. So Bullseye taunts Frank by talking about how Steve Rogers is dead, but there's this old guy, and he's jumping around, and he's got red hair. Sound familiar, huh? And he like reaches for him, and Frank tries to bite him, and he's like, oh, man. Yeah, that's why I keep you alive. Because you're just so feisty.
There's just some fight left in you.
Yes. You miss the old days, Castle? Because I sure do. And then we see Daredevil just jumping out over the city in his uniform. And you're like, that's awesome.
You're gonna pull a muscle, man.
Yeah. Oh, throughout. He talks about how when he's doing stuff, he's daredeviling. He's just like, I am going to feel like total shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Like, it just feels so good to be
jumping
me
around.
again.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my muscles didn't forget. They're just older.
Right. They're just not able to perform quite as well.
Exactly. Also, I should point out that the first issue was also colored by Steve McNiven, but then they brought in another colorist, I think just to save time, by Dean White, who does a great job. That's it.
Okay.
I just want to point it out. Dean White does a nice job with the colors for the next 2 issues. So Matt's hearing the bells of the churches, and it's interesting because you know we have Matt Murdoch triumphantly become Daredevil again on this amazing last page, and then we see Matt and he's like Daredeviling out, and he's listening for the people that he's chasing after, and he hears these bells, and he's like, I've got my powers for now, but I can already feel them fading. God has given me this gift. I have to use it. I have to figure out what he wanted me to have these powers back for. And I have a timetable. And as you can see, like, the bells are ringing and he can hear them from far away. And then just nothing. Like, oh, the powers don't fade in and out. They turn the fuck off. Which is very unhelpful. They're just
Interesting.
Just like randomly?
yeah, like almost like mini strokes. Like it just
Oh.
oh, I'm back to being blind and I have no radar sense.
Is there any pattern to it, or
No,
he just has to
I gotta-
go out there and be Daredevil and just hope it doesn't deactivate in the middle of a fight?
that's right.
Yikes.
Which of course
Of course it does.
It's going to.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you weren't Daredevil, you wouldn't even notice. But I am Daredevil for now. So he springs into action.
That Daredevil suit is a mess.
I know. I love it. I love the idea that like whatever happened that made him not be Daredevil anymore. Obviously, he lost his powers, but there's an indication that something else happened. But whatever it was, the suit was messed up, and he had to stitch it back together to be Daredevil again. Which also is a fun just design of like old man Daredevil, where it's the same exact uniform, but with these like almost zombie-esque stitches in them.
I was going to call him Frankenmatt.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Frankensteinian stitches in him.
Bullseye's so gross looking.
I know, he's so gross.
Oof.
He's hard to look at.
Yeah.
The only one that's worse to look at is Frank Castle.
Is
Yes.
Frank.
Yeah. They're both
Frank is
hideous.
rough.
Which maybe on purpose. Maybe like Bullseye's like, yeah, well, however bad I look, I gotta make you look 10 times worse. Bullseye's listening to the radio. The radio's reporting on the bomb that went off and the radiation levels and how...
Yeah, it's good.
Exactly. He's like,
Why would anybody work
For Bullseye?
For Bullseye, especially a Bullseye who can't quite throw
I
right.
think the indication is that like these people are all sociopaths. Like Bullseye is a man with a plan, which seems to be in short supply in this world because every leader like went off to fight the war.
Well, and he's got the gumption to like see it through.
That's true. Yeah, this guy, he must have delivered on some kind of promise, like
You know what? He
money
thinks
or
big.
power. That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah, he's visionary, really.
You know what? I
We
bet
need
them
this
in a
type of
bar
city.
Yeah.
that if I couldn't hit a bullseye a certain number of times.
So he's listening to the radio, but you could tell like it's not for the morning news. He's looking for Daredevil. I love the implication of like where Bullseye is mentally in this story, like what his goals are, what he wants. Like he's scanning the radio clearly for Daredevil sightings and he can't find them. And he's like, where are you? Come on. I can make you happy. You can make me happy. Let's go.
Make you happy.
Yeah.
I guess by just being a foil. Like you like the
Yeah,
game.
fighting each other.
Yeah, exactly. You like the game.
Look, this is the end of the world. What better way to go out than tete-a-tete?
So true. And that is kind of where we're headed with this.
Yeah. How many people do I have to kill to get you to fight me?
Exactly. So the girl, as it turns out, was not captured by Bullseye's crew. They did get away with Cap's shield, but that's it. The girl ran off, and she's a drifter. She's a homeless girl, and she is sleeping under a dumpster when she is woken up by this light within her that lifts her off the ground and then explodes out of her. A couple of passerby see her, and they're blinded by it.
They're blinded by the light.
That's right.
Are they permanently blind?
No.
Okay.
I thought that might have been more
Did
dark.
she create Matt Murdoch's?
No. Yeah, exactly. I make blind people, and then the radiation gives them radar senses. And it's just a city of daredevils. No, thankfully that is not it. It's Daredevil Island.
Daredevil globe. We're
Daredevil
going
world.
global. We got to take her all over the world. Turn everyone into Daredevil.
Yeah. Matt hears the
Is she
commotion.
a mutant? Yeah, because Cap thought she was important prior to the
Cap
bomb,
thought
right?
she was important. He also gave Matt his journal on the New Warriors Project, which was, of course, a government-sanctioned plan that involved a shipment of chemicals that were clearly used in the construction of the dirty bomb that Bullseye set off. So the plan here is...
Have someone read you the book.
Well, he can read it. He actually, well, as established, Matt can read raised lettering. If it was handwritten, he can read it.
Right.
What?
So
When his powers are active.
that's true.
And if they suddenly go out.
I mean, I don't know
That was
if
in the middle of a sentence. Damn it.
Matt, yeah.
Yeah, does he have super braille reading?
Right.
Or is that just he's just really good at it
No,
and
he's
can
great.
always do
He's
that?
reading. Yeah, I think it's just that he learned to do it.
Okay.
No,
is
so-
this a world in which the New Warriors existed? Like, are they named for the New Warriors, or is this universe's version of the New Warriors?
No, I think the idea is that it's like ironically named.
because
Well, because
the New Warriors are responsible
in the
for a great
90s, the New Warriors are supposed to be
travesty.
the next generation,
Right.
And now there are no more new generations.
and there is no next generation of superheroes or superpowered beings. And she is. And I think the idea was that she had powers before the bomb went off. So she's the next generation. She's the next iteration of superpowered beings who could help to deliver this world from whatever it is. Although Bullseye has a different opinion about that. So Matt hones in
Surprisingly.
on that. The news reports on her exploding. And so Bullseye dispatches his crew in their stolen ambulance to go get her. So Matt swings in to go get her. And people are freaking out because they
get ya.
Yeah, I gotta get her. I love that. Like, people are hearing about the explosion, and people are like, "Oh God, is it happening again?" They're running in the opposite direction. I'm like, "Oh my God, what a 9/11 imagery right there!" Like,
It's so crazy that there are still newspapers.
I know. Well, I like the newspaper headline is "Endless War," and I'm like, is it a
Old?
new?
Hasn't it been that way? I mean, with enough propaganda, you could make endless wars like it's endless war. It's like it's like a
cool.
slogan.
I hate that. No, that's a question mark too.
They just condition people
Endless
to think endless
war?
war is good.
Yeah. I love the image of there's a woman in a trench coat who sees Matt just like swinging across the city, and she's like, "Go!" So
Oh, she knows who he is.
yeah.
Is it?
Or she recognizes him. So Matt,
Is it Jessica Jones?
it is not.
Oh.
Although it is a brunette who seems to be connected with Daredevil.
And she's wearing a trench coat. It's a detective coat.
Yeah, that's true.
Although she had a leather coat, I guess.
Yeah, well, she had a jacket. It doesn't matter. Although the coat is there to obscure who she is.
Right.
So we see that Daredevil's on the scene. He's talking to this girl. She's like, "I'm blind." He's like, "What you got was flash blindness. It's normally temporary, but if it's not, you'll adapt because there are blind people in the world. Get over it." But also, he's just like, "Don't be afraid." And like, he made sure that like more EMTs came to help her. And
Did he say something about God's plan?
he does not, because he knows that's unhelpful. So
I got my powers back. God's plan's out the window.
yeah. So he uses radar sense, and I like the depiction of it in this case, where like he uses it kind of like how Aragorn uses his tracking, where he's like, the girl's over here, she ran over here. He's really checking, like he discovers the footsteps.
Right.
So
He's picking up on clues that allow him to infer
Yes.
what happened.
and then she got this far, and then tracks go the rest of the way. So clearly, Bullseye's crew picked her up and took her off.
Right.
So they did, and
Oh, they took her to the Bronx. What madness drove them in there?
exactly. I love, Goldtooth's like, the boss is going to love you. Don't worry. So we go to Franklin P. Nelson, attorney at law's office, and Foggy did pretty okay for himself.
Oh, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
And he's still a lawyer.
And he's got a nice big office. With
Yeah.
with a secretary and everything.
What use is a lawyer in this day and age?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think that for some folk, life is not back to normal necessarily, but it's better than sinking into the Hudson on the ferry. You know?
There is commercial enterprise
Yes.
at some level still occurring.
Right.
There are still rich people.
Right.
Maybe fewer.
But they are going to litigate each other.
Yeah, they're still going to need lawyers.
Exactly.
Like, apparently there's some sort of government
Yeah, there is a
functioning
government.
still.
So Foggy's on the phone. He's talking to somebody, and Matt's like throwing rocks at his window. And he's it's a massive high rise. He looks at the window and he sees Matt like on
That's
a
like holding up a
steam
boom
pipe.
box.
Yeah, he sees Matt like on one of these like pirate radio antennas, and he's like, "Holy shit!" He hangs up. Hold on my calls, and he goes out, and his secretary's actually surprised. She's like, "Are you going out?" Which I guess is like
outside?
like, don't go there. That's where poor people live. No, I think it's just like, we don't normally do that. I think they
Yeah,
are
it's
like,
the middle of the
insulated.
day. What do you...
Yeah, and he's like, nope, I'm going up. So he goes up onto the roof.
and it's winter.
yeah, that's true.
Are you going out? It's chilly.
You'll catch your death of
You're
cold.
old too. So Matt's
You'll
there.
get pneumonia.
He's like, Matt, are you out of your mind? You don't have your powers. And he's like, no, I do for a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
It's very, it's
It's hit or miss.
It's a problem. I love Foggy calling him out though, because he's like, so let me get this straight here. You are willing to go back to being Daredevil, but you still refuse to practice law. Like, you're doing the soup kitchen thing, but you won't like work with me again.
Yeah, well, being Daredevil's fun.
Oh. And his point is, I don't have the right to do that anymore.
Or you
Because he
disbarred?
killed Wilson Fisk? Perhaps.
Yeah,
It's like, I committed a crime.
I committed a crime and I didn't.
I commit crimes all the
punish for it.
time.
Right.
A simple assault.
Yeah, but I'm also, I got the Catholic thing,
Yeah.
plus the law
That-
thing.
It's a real big crime. I
It's-
didn't usually commit really big
It's
crimes.
on both books, the American justice system and
Yeah.
the
And
the good
Lord's.
book.
Yeah, it's one of the most important ones, and
Yeah.
I did it. Yeah.
But he's like,
that's what I'm assuming.
He's like, I got this gift, and I can't waste it. I got to get going. He's
You
just
have
like,
another kind of gift too, for the law,
Right, yeah,
which
well,
you waste all the time.
Again, I don't have the right to do that.
Yeah,
And he's
you're just
like,
making that up.
And he's like, listen, Matt, like, tell yourself whatever you want, but like, if you're gonna run around on the rooftops, getting a second lease on life, do it for fun. And then, as he's talking, Foggy disappears, and his senses turn off. He's like, hey, Matt, are you okay? He's like, like I said, they're in and out. Like my power. He's like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a real problem.
And he's like, not quite the tragedy it would have been when I was 25.
Right.
Anyway,
Like we're all gonna die.
I can't read this book that Captain America wrote. It's all chicken scratch, so I need you to look over it. Here's this book. Figure it out. It's something about the New Warriors project. I don't know what this is, and I don't have time to figure it out because I got to use my powers to be Daredevil and save this girl.
Right.
I'm sorry. You said this is Captain America's book?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
I'm gonna sell this. No,
The hell
he's
did you
just
kill
like,
him too?
This is evidence.
What? So he's just like, figure this out. And Foggy, it was good to see you. So he leaves. So
Hey, I'm gonna give you this chore.
I
Bye.
said it was good to see
that's
you.
what I do with all you supplemental characters.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, all right. Am I not winking right? Because, I can't see.
You're wearing a mask, man. I can't tell if you're winking. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, I got to go.
Anyway, I'm winking.
Wink. Back to the tent city where, that same van committed all those crimes. And so he's,
multiple murders.
Exactly. So he starts inspecting the area and, like, the tire treads and, like, the paint scratches that it left behind and all this stuff. And eventually he figures out, like, the traces of the exhaust that the ambulance was leaving. He's like, all right. So he goes to the top of the city and he's like, I am trying to isolate one type of exhaust.
From like
smell? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm like, what sense is he using?
Yeah. Smell.
Dude, the wind moves that shit.
Yeah. So eventually he does track it down and then heads over there. So
Turns out they left the engine running the entire time.
They were actually just hanging out on the truck, just like getting ripped and hanging and wallowing in their own crapulence. And Goldtooth is like, this is great, man. Like, did you see the look on the boss's face when I gave him that shield? Can you imagine what it'll be like when we beat Daredevil and we give it out to him? Like, it's gonna be like Christmas and his birthday all rolled into one. And then one of the guys who's drinking beers just gets hit in the face in the billy club. Nice. And Daredevil's like, where's the girl? And they're like, oh, you're the guy that the boss wants. Hey, look, everybody, it's fucking Daredevil. And he's like, what are you, like 100? And Matt's like, it's been a while. What do you think, Murdoch? Are you up for a fight? And then immediately just jumps into it. And it's just spectacularly rendered where Matt's just beating these people up. He's like, you've been given your powers for a reason. You've been giving them back for a reason. It's to do this, to beat the shit out of these guys. So Matt gets hit in the head with a crowbar. He goes down. And one of the guys is like, the boss wants him alive, but you are too much of a problem. So that's gonna
I don't know if I can bring you in alive.
So I'm just going to have to shoot you, and I'll be the guy who killed Daredevil. Right. And then he gets 3 ninja stars in his head.
And it's a female hand throwing him, so it's Elektra.
I was going to say, like, how great would it be if that was just Bullseye?
Yeah, just like, no,
I kill him.
Bullseye would do that.
Oh, 100%.
So Elektra's here, and she looks like she's drawn by Frank Miller.
That's what I was thinking.
She also
as soon as you
doesn't
turn the
look
page.
old.
That's right. And I love McNiven because McNiven is able to adapt his style in such ways. Like, this is Frank Miller's Elektra in this book drawn by Steve McNiven. Yeah. Like, she just appears and she looks like another character from another universe. But it's so awesome to see Elektra like this. But she's just like, it's not your time. And then goes in there and starts slaughtering these people with swords and ninja throwing stars. And he's like, stop! It's been so long since I've seen her, but oh my god! And he's like,
all these
stop
people.
killing all these people!
She's like, I didn't kill all of them.
And so then his powers cut out, and he's like, no, stop! And Goldtooth's the last one alive, and he's like, no, I need him, please. So she's like, I am the beast. She pulls back the sword. Matt catches it. And he's like, you always were, in the sack, that is. But she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I need this one. So she says, take him. And he's like, okay. And then she hits him in the face with the butt of her sword. And she goes, now you run. So he takes off. And she goes, tell him we're coming. And Matt's like, we're? And she's like, yeah, no, we're not going anywhere.
Interesting. So she thinks that they don't need him?
She's just playing with him. She's like, I know that you need to know where he's going. You have his scent. You can track him down.
Oh, just follow him, yeah.
Exactly. But he's just like, her voice and her body, she hasn't aged a day, not in decades. And so he takes off his mask to illustrate just how much older he is.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I can do it. A bomb went off, and I have to save this child, and I have my powers, but only for a little while. And she's like, I'm not here for that. I don't care about any of the Steve Rogers stuff. I heard you were back, and I'm here for you. I'm here to give you what I offered you last time.
Which is?
She goes, I can give you time. I can give you as much as you want.
Oh, with like hand magic?
Yep.
Forever with me. And he's like, forever with her. And he just has this image of himself young again with her, and she's drenched in blood. And her sword is covered in blood. And his eye is reflected in the sword. And he's just like, and then the blood starts like pouring down this star, and it's Captain America's star.
Yeah.
And that blood then reminds him of a blood-soaked cane that Kingpin wielded. And he's like, no! You know where that man's running to. Tell me, who is him? And she says, he works for a gang called the Triple Ring. Which I'm like, we know it's Bullseye. We don't need that. Just, I get it. I appreciate it. But, like, I guess it's just so that, like, not everyone is like, oh, Bullseye's back. You know, like, I've heard rumblings about Bullseye.
Yeah.
Triple Ring. It's just, it takes me, a second. Although, does Daredevil know what Bullseye's costume looks like? Like, does he know that Bullseye has
Yeah,
three
because
rings?
his radar sense like pings off the fabric of his costume.
got
Like
stitching.
the colors are slightly different, and it reflects
Or
it.
Matt wasn't born blind. I know what a bullseye is. You know,
Right.
it has.
I can infer that
has three rings.
has 3 rings everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, those are the 3 rings of a dartboard.
Yeah.
I
So, all right. But again, I'm like, it's just like, we didn't need this. I would have, for how much restraint and subtlety this book has, you know, we don't need to also name Bullseye's gang something that alludes to the fact that his logo is 3 rings.
right.
But also,
Well, but they gotta call it something.
we gotta do something. So moving on. So we go back to Bullseye's lair.
This is not the Bullseyes.
That would suck more. I
the
think
young
that's what it is.
Bullseyes.
It could just be that. It could be Soul being like,
Sons of Bullseye.
It's all terrible. These are all awful pitches. 3 rings it is. We have a winner. So Goldtooth made it back to Bullseye's lair, or I'm sorry, the leader of the 3 rings.
Whoever that may be.
You know, and he's like, Boss Daredevil just beat the shit out of us. And then this like crazy hot lit chick just killed like everybody with a sword, ninja throwing stars. Like, this is way above my pay grade, man. Like, I am not prepared for this. And Bull's like, oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, now it's getting
You
good.
made me so happy, but also you came back
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
failing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, but he's like playing with Frank on the wall. Like, you can tell he's just like, yeah, like he just got the drop on him one day. But he's also put the girl in this like machine.
Yeah. Reminiscent of an electric motor.
Yes.
It's got coils and wires.
And what the machine seems to do is keep her from using her powers.
Some sort of inhibitor.
Yes. I love the design for this machine.
Yeah.
Like,
It looks so janky.
It's so janky and like
jury-rigged.
jury-rigged together. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about building things and machines.
I mean,
I saw a picture of this in like a book one time, and so I just approximated.
It looks like a prototype that like a physicist would build in a lab
Yes.
to just like see if something works.
Exactly, and
right?
then go,
I don't,
okay, now that we got the funding, we'll actually build it.
yeah,
for
like
real
a
and
company
safe.
would put like plastic around it and stuff. So you would see all the wires,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't need that.
No, I don't
just
care.
need it to
Look
work
at me.
right now.
Look at this guy on the
Well,
wall.
also, like,
Yeah.
what happens if I need to tweak things?
Right,
true,
it's a lot
yeah.
easier to like work on it this way. That's cool.
Yeah. You know, so he's talking to the girl, he goads her into using her powers, and she's just like, screw you. So she uses her powers, and like they kind of like charge up, and she starts to emit light, and then he's just like, oh, look at you, and then turns right off.
So is he harnessing her powers also?
It
like a
seems-
battery?
He could be, but it doesn't come up. He's just
Oh.
like, I think it's more like, I want to see what you can do, but I don't want you to be able to do it against me. But he's like, the machine keeps you in check, but I could tell that you're something special. And I guess the idea is that maybe Bullseye's used the machine a few times on characters who have had powers.
Interesting. Okay.
But he's like, I'm just going to keep you in this machine until the time is right, because you're the start of something special. Also, the machine seems to hurt her really badly. Like when she uses her powers, like she is like drooling.
Yeah, she's
and,
screaming.
Like wrecked.
Yeah. See, and she's just exhausted
Yes,
afterwards.
exactly. So it probably just like pulls every like potential of her powers as she's using them, so that she's like utterly spent by the time that, you know,
Yeah.
the machine's done.
You see this?
Yikes.
I've just taken 5 years of your life. One day I may go as high as 5, but I really don't know what that would do to you.
So Matt goes home to like relax, also because, you know, he just saw Elektra, such that he can, and he gets a call from the office.
Oh,
of
so he goes
Foggy.
home to like beat it?
Probably. It's
I'm
kind of
sorry, God. Whenever you call my name, I have to pay attention.
I have to check because it's you. Oh, damn it, man.
damn it.
Come on. Bullseye's like, all right, I think it's time to go out. Bullseye reveals to his crew, you know, he's like, we got the plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going
Right.
to move.
I got the secret plan.
Yeah, because the whole thing about like the New Warriors project is that like the government had this like supply of radioactive material, and calling it the New Warriors Project. Clearly, the government was like, the war's not going well. We need more supers. We're going to use this, like, we're going to go back to the old ways. Most of the
Bombing
old guard,
things until people get powers.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, at least using latent, quasi-safe levels of radiation. You know,
I'm saying it worked with a Hulk.
we had a guy with a bomb. He turned into a Hulk. We had a guy with a radioactive spider. He turned into a Spider-Man. We had a guy with radioactive isotopes in his eyes. Dude turned into Daredevil. You know, like the children of the atom. It was just like we were constantly blowing shit up with radiation, and we needed an entire generation of mutants. Like it's all about radioactivity here. So we got all this shit. Bullseye intercepted it and took it for himself.
Gotcha. So he's gonna
He's got plans.
do something.
He's gonna do something. He calls it the future.
Right. And he used it presumably in the subway bombing.
Yes.
To what end?
To what end, indeed? Yeah.
And was it just a coincidence that Steve was there with the girl?
No,
it can't
Steve
be.
was intercept. I think Steve was caught up
Oh, he was trying to like.
to like intercept Bullseye's interception of the.
But why did
material.
he have the girl with him?
I think that the.
She was just always special,
Yeah,
probably.
I think. If
Was
I,
she in
we have
training?
we have to infer.
Was she a
I think that
spy?
no, she has no connectivity with these people. I think that she was born with those powers when they activated the superhero.
Steve could like tell.
Well, I think Steve saw her use them at some point, and then some indeterminate point in the past,
I see.
and then recovered her and was like, "We need to bring her home and like train her or bring her to some other clandestine group to keep her safe because she's the next generation. Because like we're not making new superheroes right now." So Matt swings out into the city again, just having a great time. He's also making a big spectacle of himself. He's out in the daylight. You can hear like on 8:20 a.m. radio, WNYC, they're talking about like the news, and they're saying like, we see this guy, and he's dressed in bright red. He's swinging around like he wants to be seen. And Bullseye's like, okay, that's him. That's my cue. So we indicated earlier, like he has this like elixir that he uses on the tips of his needles?
Yeah.
Right.
and
To try to as
try-
part of the anti-shake.
Is it tree frog venom?
whatever it is, he drinks all of it.
Oh, never mind.
And they're like, he's like, you're going places, Tyra. This is gonna be amazing. And she's like, let me out. And
Yeah,
he's
but
like,
not right
"Trust
now.
me."
You're not going anywhere
No,
right
no,
now.
no.
but-
She's like, well, let me out. And I'll show
Metaphorically,
you.
you're going
Yeah,
places.
he's like, you're safer in there than what's coming. Trust me. And then he shows off this machine that he built. He's like, hey, I want to show you something. Opens up this door, and he's like, nice, huh? They used this stuff when the shakes first came on. He made a suit out of like discarded superhero armor. Like it's an old Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Or a hodgepodge of many different iron-based characters suit.
Yeah. It looks real crappy.
Yeah, it's janky as the machine she's plugged into. But I love this because like this is just like more showing, not telling.
He's also got like shotguns.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a super accurate gun, he has a
needs it.
gun
Yeah, it's
that,
like that
you can
covers
hit.
a wider range, but
Yeah.
he needs to be closer up. This is a machine that I built that I used when the shakes first came on before they got like way too bad. And that was a long time ago. Stupid shakes. Anyway, I really miss this thing. It is a lot of fun. You know, it's old school tech. It connects with your brain and it does what you want. Like it thinks. It knows what you're
moves-
thinking.
it moves at your thoughts.
It moves with your thoughts.
Are you gonna wear it?
No.
Is that
No.
okay? Because I'm like, you're covered in pins.
Yeah,
if you get in that, they're gonna like
Yeah, you're
jam
gonna be
into
like
you.
penance.
Exactly.
I got a pin for every person I've killed. And then when I get in, it pushes them into me.
Yeah.
And that activates my powers.
Oh, no, but just killed me.
Oh, nope, I died. So he's just like, they don't make him like this anymore. Kind of like us, huh, Frank? And then he pulls this crank and Frank falls off the wall.
Oh.
And then he goes, all right, well, gotta go. So he leaves the big machine there and Frank just flopping on the floor. So he leaves. And as he's leaving, he talks to the crew and he's like, oh, by the way, Frank Castle got off the wall. You gotta go check it out. Frank just starts crawling towards the machine. Bullseye set it all up. He's like, no, I want Frank to get into this thing. Frank crawls into the machine, grabs one of the wires, plugs it into himself with his teeth, and then it just all the wires like encircle him and suck him into the machine. And he's like, oh my god. And the guys are great because they're like, oh my god, where'd Nubs get to? And one of them's like, hey, he's a veteran. We're gonna show him the respect he deserves, you know? Even though I facilitated his torture and his humiliation.
Yeah, but I won't have you insulted him.
But I will not. This is if you insult.
That's crossing the line.
That's
Using your words like that.
That's
Words hurt, man.
Now if you excuse me, I have to carry out the castration. So they go in there, and like the machine's like on its front, like R2D2 just dunk. And they're like, "Hey, Dink Dink Frank, you in there? You okay?" And like one of them goes over to Tyra, and they're like, "Did Bullseye put him in there or something?
What was happening?
And she's like, "No, he did it himself. He's actually kind of amazing, and he's going to use it to kill you." And then they're like, "What?" And then and he just starts grabbing everybody and like picking them apart. And she's just like, "Yeah, see what you get." And they're just getting torn apart.
Oh my god.
So he's just crushing everybody. And the one like guy who like showed him any respect is like, "Please don't crush my head," like a cantaloupe. And so Frank just like tears the machine apart and pulls her out of it. And she's like, "Thank you, Mr. Castle." And he like uses his like robot hand to like gently stroke her cheek.
Oh nope! I punctured her eye socket.
I love like this. Just Tyra being like, "Yeah, I'm a Punisher fan now. This guy just wrecked this place and saved me."
Was this Bullseye's plan? I don't understand.
Yeah, Bullseye's
I don't
like,
think Bullseye cares.
no, Bullseye's like, "I'm done here. I'm gonna die. I'm going off to fight Daredevil one last time."
Well, I have
I
a
see.
plan for like all of these toxic barrels and all these things that I was doing.
Yes.
But Daredevil's back?
Yeah.
New plan.
Whoa, what's the sub plan? Like,
Yeah.
barrel plan is still
Extra
in,
part of the plan.
and fight Daredevil.
Why did he want this girl then? If he was just gonna like trap her
didn't-
momentarily and then let Frank Castle free her.
Well, we'll have to speculate about that because like it's hard to understand the plans of an insane person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, Matt's out in the city. He's trying to
Let's
figure
just
out what
say
to
the
do next.
plan is shaky at best.
And that's true. So Matt's out there in the city, and he uses his radar sense to try and pinpoint where he needs to go next. And he's just like, "I could do so much more. Like, my radar sense is back. I'm hearing an argument happening, and they're gonna kill someone in like broad daylight. I can
Oh.
stop them.
They're having an argument. I can be an intermediary.
Yeah, I could help.
Guys, let it out.
Smooth
Just
over
chill
this
out.
marriage." But no, like he's like, someone's gonna get killed, and then the powers turn off, and when they turn back on, they're dead. And he's
Oh,
just like,
okay, well,
he's like, "I
can't
didn't
do
even
that one."
hear the bullet.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad it is."
Yeah.
So then he hears
Oh, things are going out real bad.
So the powers come back on, and he hears a power transformer turn on, and he's like, "Whoa! Like those haven't been turned on in a long time, and they are used for something like massive. What are they being used for?" And then all the screens in Times Square turn on, and Bullseye's on the on the screen, and he's like, "Hello, New York City."
I like the fact that there are lots of pins in him and very few are within the bullseye.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like just hammering
I'm
home.
bullseye. Are you though?
Right, but like doesn't look like it from here. It looks like
It's
you're
like
kind
kind of bad.
near miss. Is
I'm
more like
thinking Pincushion would be a good name for you.
yeah. Or Spike.
Of course, there's a camera crew.
Oh yeah, no, he's got the camera crew ready
he's
to go.
all-
It's all
all
hooked
ready.
up, and he's just like, "Yeah, here we go." Bullseye starts giving like a history lesson about like what things used to be like. It's like there used to be like all these people with powers, and like they'd fight each other. And some of you people who are watching now, a lot of you would die, but enough of you wouldn't. And you'd be so excited or happy to see half of those colorful characters doing whatever the hell they're doing. And then one day they messed all this up. Like it all fell apart. But like
In
back
some
then,
unspecified way
yeah,
that I won't get into
that
right
I will
now.
not get into because we all know the story.
No, you know. Well, you know.
Yeah, you didn't know who I was, but you definitely know the history of this universe we're in.
Yeah.
But you know, he's like, it was an intricate ballet. Like there'd be a big crazy scheme. Like people would have these insane intricate plots where they want to like shoot a building into space or blow up something and or grab magical amulets to do blah blah blah. Like who cares? But it was and sometimes it would be really great and sometimes it'd be really horrible. It'd be this intricate ballet.
Sometimes the city would be destroyed. Sometimes it would be saved.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd
And
rebuild it.
and they'd always rebuild, but now we don't. We don't rebuild anymore. And he's like, and you can blame everybody for it. You blame the war or the DBs, whoever that all that
Whatever that
is.
means.
Or apathy. And he's like, we've forgotten, but today we remember. And so Daredevil appears. And he's like, right on time. And so like Goldtooth is like, do you mind? And he grabs like Bullseye's modified Captain America shield. He's like, no, be my guest. He's like, all right, I owe this guy. And then Bullseye just blows him away with that shotgun.
Oh.
He's like, no,
You idiot.
no. And he's like, oh, this feels good. Doesn't it feel good?
Yeah, got him with both barrels.
That's right.
And Matt does nothing to stop him, and does nothing to stop him while he reloads.
Well, yeah.
Well, I don't think Matt saw that coming.
Yeah.
Although he probably should have. But again,
Well, what's he gonna do? It's over there.
I'm over there. So Bullseye tells the cameraman, like, make sure to keep us steady. and you're gonna want to see what happens next. So Matt and Bullseye fight, and we can see like people like opening their windows and looking out there, and they see on the jumbotron, they're like, "Whoa, what the crap? Who are these people?"
Who turned on the jumbotron?
Right, and it's like, what's going on? Like they're killing each other, and one of them's like, "Yeah, but don't you want to kind of see who wins?" And Matt's like, "It's entertainment. Like he thinks it's entertainment, and maybe it is.
I mean, it is entertainment.
Like maybe this is
It
fun
is
for
entertaining.
yeah."
Matt turns the camera. Why are you not entertained?
Right? So he he's just walloping Bullseye, and then the powers turn off, and then Bullseye gets it in, and then they turn back on. He's throwing the billy club at him, and he's just like, kicking ass. Bullseye grabs like a handful of pins and just throws them at Matt. Matt blocks them and jumps out of the way. Then the powers turn off, and he gets embedded with a couple of them in his chest. And he's like, that's weird. They don't even go like more than skin deep. They don't hurt me. Oh, they're drugged.
Oh.
And so he falls to his knees, and Bullseye picks up that double barrel shotgun. So people are like, "Oh my god, this is incredible! Like he's really gonna kill that guy!" Like there's a huge crowd amassed outside of Madison Square Garden where this is happening on the roof of.
There's a guy being like, "Popcorn, get your popcorn, yeah."
What the hell? Yeah.
Did you know this was going to happen, or you just
No,
have
I'm just
popcorn?
always ready.
It's New York. You got to be ready for
Gotta
a
be
big
ready for anything.
Hasn't been one in 30 years, but
Yep.
hope springs eternal. That's what I always say.
Figure what opportunity knocks.
So while people are watching on the jumbotron, they see a big hand like cover the screen, and they're like, "What the hell's that?" And Bullseye turns around, and he's like, "Huh?" And it's Frank.
Yeah.
And Frank
Cover the camera.
picks up Bullseye, and he's like, "Castle, you made it! Great job! You're just what I needed." And he's like, he just crushes his arm.
Like, I beg your pardon?
So he crushes his arm, just starts smashing him, and he's like,
Oh my God.
You still got it, Frank. You can still do it." And he grabs like an errant electrical cable and throws it at Frank's suit, and Frank like just starts electrifying until Frank like hits a button that like releases himself, so his torso just falls out, and he just starts crawling after Bullseye.
Oh
And
my
Bullseye's
God.
like, "Dude, get over it, man. Like you don't even know when it's over." And then Frank just starts hitting him in the head with his own head, and then bites his nose off with his teeth. It's just like, Jesus! And Frank just
And Matt's just watching being like,
That's awesome.
holy shit,
no,
dude.
Matt jumps
that's
on
effed up.
Frank and he pulls him into a chokehold, and he's like, "Stop!" And then it goes black, and then it cuts to what is clearly a memory, and it's Fisk, and he's covered in blood, and he's got his like cane, and he says, "Save me," and then we see the other end where it's a young Matt and a young Frank, and Punisher's got his gun trained on him, and Matt is wrecked as Daredevil, and he just says no.
Oh.
And then he says to Frank in the present day, "No." And then Frank fires at Fisk. Matt let Punisher kill the Kingpin. And that's what he feels guilty about.
Okay.
So he
Interesting.
knocks out Frank. And I know that he like does because I read the script at the end. Because I was like, "Oh my god, does he kill Frank?" Because Frank
Right.
never wakes up in the rest of the book.
Right.
Oh,
right.
jeez.
But the script says that he is
It's
unconscious.
a sleeper hold. He puts him to sleep.
He puts him to
Yeah.
sleep. So Frank's asleep, and Tyra picks up that shotgun, and she's like, "Why did you stop him? Like that other man hurt me, and he saved me." It's like, can't argue with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like can't argue with like what Frank did to Fisk. I mean, like not that I'm a big booster of the Punisher, but
right.
But like, did Fisk deserve to die?
yes,
Yeah.
and I hope he burns in hell. Bullseye starts like just sliding his writhing body against the like edge of the roof. So she's just like, he deserves what he gets. And Matt's like, "You're that girl that Steve tried to save. He died for you." And he's like, "People like you and me with our gifts, like we have a responsibility to help people with them. We don't use them to kill people." And he's like, "Sometimes we screw up, but we have to try, even with people like that." And so Matt's like, "All right, Bullseye, where are the bombs? Like, what are you going to do?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll show you." So he's like, "You and I, like you played your part perfectly. We got a nice big crowd here today." And he says, "I just want you to remember that we did this together." And then the powers turn off, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And Bullseye takes out this little remote, and so Matt doesn't see him. He doesn't know where he is, and he just runs at him. And he doesn't know, according to the script,
Yeah.
that he's gonna go off the ledge. But Matt and Bullseye just tumble off the side.
Wow.
And as they're falling, Matt grabs Bullseye's wrist to keep him from pushing the detonator, and the two of them fall, and Matt makes sure that Bullseye's underneath him as they hit a cab. And so Bullseye is laid out on the cab. Matt is wrecked, and the detonator falls harmlessly to the ground. And he's like, I'm sorry. I wish we could have found another way. And Bullseye says, don't worry, I liked it. We both did our parts. And people remember, but the show must go on. And then he pulls out his own tooth, and he spits it in a Bullseye fashion to ricochet off of a few unrelated items until it eventually hits the detonator.
Oh my God!
And with his last breath, he says, Bullseye, and winks at the camera.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. The bombs go off, and the entire area surrounding Madison Square Garden is filled with this radioactive material.
Jesus.
Oh
This
my
completely
God.
reactivates Matt's abilities. Matt
Yeah,
hears
that's
everything.
fair.
Everything, all the electricity is out. The entire area, the city is plunged into darkness, and everyone is as blind as Matt normally is. Matt hears all these people screaming and panicking, and they start tearing each other apart.
Oh, jeez. Like zombies?
No, just like desperate people.
The pandemonium of people in a panic.
Yeah. And so he hears them all, and they're just beating each other savagely or attacking each other. And he's like, God, help me see. And he starts to paint a picture of his path. And he's like, I can't find anything but destruction. And then eventually zeroes in on a path of wreckage that will lead him back up the roof to Tyra. This is a super important sequence according to the people who made this book based on the script. But this is the last moment for Matt Murdoch. He's like, I'm done. I've got massive blood loss and severe puncture wounds in my body.
I just landed on a car.
I landed on a car.
Guy fell, broke my fall.
Yeah, but I'm still done.
Wrecked.
He makes this climb, and this is the climb of Daredevil. This is a Sisyphusian type of endeavor where Matt is just making his way up, and you're like, this is the last thing that Matt needs to accomplish in his life, is reaching Tyra. So we watch him climb, and as he climbs, he remembers the people that he left and the people that he lost and loved. I don't know why I've had this life, but whatever your intentions, the lesson I learned ended up being very simple. There's always more pain. There's always more light. So he reaches her, and Tyra's still cradling Frank. And he's like, Tyra, and she's like, you're a bad man. He's like, sometimes, but I like to think that I did more good. So Matt just collapses, and he tells Tyra as he's starting to die, he's like, there's people down there, and they need your help. They need your light. They can't get out. And that's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do with these abilities. And he says, it's going to get worse. But this is why we have our gifts for things like this. And he says, you'll remember this moment for the rest of your life, because this is the moment when you decided to do something or not. You've been called. He starts to lose his voice, and he says, it's never fair. And then he seems to have a smile on his face as light pours over him. And so Tyra ascends into the sky, bathed in light, and emits this light and cuts right through the cloud. And it starts to burn up all the radioactive material that's in the area.
But the people are already, irradiated anyway.
They are irradiated, yeah. So these people all freeze, and they can see each other now, and they can see what they're doing, and it stops them. And they immediately start to help each other instead. And the narration from Matt is more or less Tyra's light burns away the poison in the air, but they've touched it. Or it's touched them. It's inside them now, and many of them are changed.
So he created a whole bunch of new
Bullseye created a whole bunch of new super
characters.
Yeah. And he says, this is all part of God's plan. I can see it. As we see Matt's blind eyes and the life leave them. Boom. So it's Bullseye's plan seemed to be, I'm bored. It was I like being Bullseye. What made it fun being Bullseye? Fighting people like Daredevil and doing the dance, the ballet.
And here's the thing. People can survive.
Right.
But what made life interesting was all the random little craziness that happened.
Yeah.
All little
these
superpowered people
These exceptions.
that got to make a difference and make a change.
Yeah, and that difference was good or bad, whether it's Doctor Doom or Spider-Man.
He seemed to like the fight. He relished the conflict
Yes. Yeah.
between and he seems to think that that's how it should be.
Right.
There should be supervillains and superheroes, and they should be fighting each other. And isn't that fun?
And it should always be this like never-ending battle. But like one day it just stopped.
Yeah, and
And
that's lame.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's why I kept Frank Castle alive.
So I'd have someone.
Yeah, and that's why I put him in an Iron Man suit, like to keep it going. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, you're gonna kill all of my crew, and you're gonna find your way here, and maybe you'll kill me, but maybe you
But
won't.
we're gonna
It'll
fight.
be exciting.
Yeah, but we're gonna fight. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen." And like, yeah, that's a sociopath. Like, Bullseye is just batshit insane.
Yeah.
Of course, so do we as superhero fans.
Right.
Like, we want it to never end.
And we're fueling it
Right,
by buying these books.
it and reading them and talking about
So we're
them.
culpable.
Oh, absolutely. But also, they're not real, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I really appreciate that. Like, the book kind of touches on real world stuff, or at the very least, like the human condition, as opposed to like what's actually happening outside your window. But also, it's just kind of about how like superhero comics are kind of rad.
It's the only thing I don't like about this ending is that apparently you have to have superpowers to make a difference.
Yeah. I mean,
It's I
agree.
No, because at the end she burns away the toxic stuff, but then the people like help each other.
Yes.
So it's almost like superpowers are like an enabler.
Yeah.
Or like a force multiplier.
right.
And if you're fighting like a supervillain, yeah, maybe you do need superpowers.
You probably use some.
Yeah, but that just goes without saying.
Yeah, but like also, you know, Frank didn't have any powers.
True.
Look how far he went. Also,
True.
he's still alive, so don't worry, there will always be a Punisher. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, but it's not like people turning against Bullseye being like, no, we don't need that.
No. They're
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
9/11 it.
no.
What I'd have to read it, but what I find a little problematic with the ending is that, well, I mean, if Matt had just let her kill Bullseye, then Bullseye wouldn't have been able to do anything with the detonator, and none of this would have been necessary.
Yeah. But I think that the other thing is like we do need like, God help me, is Bullseye right?
Right. I mean
mean-
he's doing it in a horrible. I guess the implication is like, well, if this was part of a broader plan,
Yes.
Bullseye thinks that he's doing this for like
His own selfish reasons.
but in reality, he's just a cog.
Yes, and I
in
think
the-
that's what it is. Because I think because the opening of the book is about like God's plan and how it's unknowable and how it can be applied to any situation, whether it's good or bad. And like, Matt talks about how repeatedly there are moments where he's like, I screwed up so much, but if it is part of God's plan, then I had to.
I was meant
Right.
to.
I was meant to screw up all this time.
I was meant to
sleep with
have
all
Wilson
those
Fisk
different.
die.
Yeah, I was meant to let Wilson Fisk die. Everything I've done, and I think that's what gives him peace. Is him seeing that she is a hero, or at the very least, good, and knowing that there will be more heroes or presumably power people. I don't know. It's also fun, and I appreciate that it's like it's a Daredevil story. It's dark. It has hope, but the hope is very conditional.
I would have enjoyed it if he saw her. That to me would have been like, that's God's plan.
Right.
Like he
And
saw
I
her
can
with his
see it.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like I finally saw her.
Well, but he can't see.
No, I know
Yeah.
he can't see.
Yeah.
But if
He can
if
see her with his
see with
super
his
vision.
powers,
Right, yeah.
and she has powers,
Yeah, that's
somehow it
true.
gets through.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like the idea of him like
I
using
mean,
his radar sense.
he knows what's happening. I
Yeah, no,
think.
he's aware.
So to me, what's thematically happening here is that Matt, at some point in the past,
Let Frank kill
let
Wilson
Frank
Fisk.
kill Wilson Fisk, which was bad.
But now
he strayed
he's-
from the mission, and then the world went to shit.
Right, and now
But
he's stopping
now-
Frank from killing Bullseye.
Yeah, he gets back with the program,
Mm-hmm.
and even though it's hard to see how it could possibly work out,
Yeah.
because logically the thing he should do to save the day is kill
prevent the bombs.
Bullseye
And kill Bullseye, yeah.
by following the
Superhero formula.
yeah,
The
by following the his inner morality.
Yeah.
He attains a superior ending
That's true.
to the book by inadvertently bringing about a new age of superheroes,
Yes.
presumably led by a character who he convinced to do the right thing and
Yeah.
save the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beacon.
I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. That makes sense to me. You get these glimmers of the world before, but that it's not what it's about. You know, that's a setting.
Yeah, you need that to happen so that you can start from such a desperate, horrible place.
Yeah.
But see how even in that scenario, there can be hope, and
Exactly.
here's how.
Well, and the world is not going to be what it was.
Yeah.
We can't get back there, but that doesn't mean we can't have humanity.
Well, and Bullseye talks about like how we stopped rebuilding, and I think that that's over.
Yeah. Well, I think you're meant to assume that with the birth of these new heroes, they're going to help get things under control in a larger sense that will allow society to, instead of just fighting these endless wars, perhaps stop them and then focus on fixing things.
The endless wars thing is interesting too, because like that's what Marvel is. Right on down to the use of the word war.
Yes.
But like that is also an inevitability of having a huge coterie of superheroes. What are you gonna do to stop that, if anything? Or will it cause? But thematically, that's what the lesson is, that
the hope would be
as long as you follow
that
the superhero morality formula, you'll at the very least have some kind of a copacetic, equilibrium.
Well, as long as you have a choice to make, and you make that choice.
Right.
Which apparently was always God's plan.
Yeah.
So there was never a choice.
Well, I mean, that's how Matt justifies his
yeah,
behavior.
this is the problem with the whole concept of God's plan. Because then, like, well, if literally everything is part of the plan, including my decision to
Let Fisk die?
yeah, and so that's kind of effed up. But then also, like, my decision to go along with the plan.
Yeah.
Then does that mean I don't have free will? In which case,
Well,
what's the point of anything?
Right. Well,
Right,
but
so-
I think Matt thinks it's beautiful that he gets to be part of something greater than himself, and that it doesn't matter if I don't have free will because I don't have precognition. So even though it is predetermined, I still get to be surprised.
Right, and I'm glad to be part of
Something
of
bigger.
it and witness the beauty of the plan
Existence.
unfolding.
Exactly.
And the
yeah.
choices I make are part of who I am,
And-
which was God's plan.
Right, and part of a bigger plan. Exactly.
But if everything is just part of a plan, that's kind of like boring and lame.
Well, that's true. But aren't you? Because you're a superhero in a comic book, so you have to be planned out anyway.
Well, that's true.
But no one's doing
If
that.
it's
We're not
that
doing
meta.
I mean, although the last page is Matt looking at you. It's certainly the best Charles Soule Daredevil book I've ever read. And McNiven just crushes it. From homage art to the style he's adapted for this particular story, to flashback art, like the image of young Frank and young Fisk and young Matt being completely different from what we see our characters looking like today, not just from the fact that they've aged, but also just stylistically.
Yeah.
They are different.
The world is not pretty.
Yeah, that's right. It is an unpretty world. There's a lot about eyes in this story. I mean, even when Matt has the vision of the bloody future, like his eyes are wide open and not cloudy. They're clear. It's like for the first time Matt can see, and he's like, "No!" Because when he says he sees the the plan of God at the end, they're cloudy. Now, it could be because they're dead. Could be blind, or he's just gone.
Yeah.
But you can't make a Cold Day in Hell 2 with a dead Matt Murdoch. So that Elektra just recovers his body and puts him in the hand magic and brings him back. So that's gonna be cool. But no,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see a sequel. But if there is, I will read it with great interest. But check it out if you haven't already, because it's worth it. And there's fun supplemental material. I will admit, while there is some cool insight into the process, it is very singular. It's not like this is how you write comic book scripts. It's how these two collaborators who have worked on multiple projects together collaborate, especially when the writer made sure to give McNiven a wide berth to completely design the book himself, whereas Soule just wrote kind of like an outline, which is not how you normally write comic book scripts. It's only giving you an insight into the process and not like, oh, here's an alternate ending, or here's what Soule was thinking when he wrote it, or here's what he wanted you to walk away with as a message. It's just... Here's
You have
how
to figure
Soule
that out
and McNiven
yourself.
work together. Well, then, which again,
It's like the mechanics of the book. It's
Yes.
not anything.
it's very utilitarian, but it's
Yeah.
also just kind of neat if you care about that kind of thing. If you're the kind of person who bought DVDs for the audio commentary, you're gonna love this stuff.
Yeah, read the bones.
You
Read the
mentioned
bones.
that
I
they
think-
mentioned that those panels are really important where he's climbing.
Yeah, like you could feel, and especially when they were describing it, they were like, "This is the most important moment of the book. This is what the book is building towards."
It is, because that's him fulfilling the entire mission of his life in
Yes.
that moment. Because he's, at least in his interpretation, he's saying that maybe all the pain that I suffered previously in my life was to prepare me to be able to push through this pain right now, right here, to do this one last thing before he says I have one move left. There's one thing I can do. What's it going to be?
Yeah.
And he decides it's climbing the side of that building.
Yeah.
So it's yes, your whole life led to this moment. It is definitely the most important
Yes.
like part of the book right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading. Death of Wolverine, you know. It's cool looking.
Yeah, but in the end, like, who cares?
In the end, Wolverine is in a stupid adamantium cocoon.
Yeah.
And he's dead, though.
He is dead in
But,
that
like,
cocoon.
is it
But sometimes you can still hear his screams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, what is it all for? I
Yeah,
don't
like,
remember.
He gets, well, plus, like, I'm covered in adamantium. Like,
How ironic.
I don't know. It's just kind of silly at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just kind of
It's like
silly.
that he's a dead statue.
Yeah.
You know, like that dog that they bronzed and made a statue out of. I don't know if that's true or if that's just an urban legend, but
That there's actually the dog inside?
yeah, like Balto's in there or something. I don't know.
Is that an urban legend?
Maybe it
That
just
the Balto statue has Balto inside of it?
or maybe it's just some stupid thing that some asshole kid said to me in 6th grade.
I think that's probably
It's probably more likely. I don't know. Yeah, that Death of Wolverine book though. Maybe we'll talk about it, but there's so many tie-ins. It's like, oh man.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I just want to talk about that.
There's only 4 issues, right?
It's only 4 issues. It's really quick and easy, and you don't need all that shit. But there is a lot of it, and that'd be fun to
Interesting.
do. But like, I also feel like if we only did the 4 issues, people would be like, "What about all the other shit?" I'm like, "What about giving a fuck?"
Yeah.
Because that's what I did when I didn't read all that shit.
Well, and he's back now, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah, no, that was so crappy.
Yeah.
So much that sucked about after that.
I remember thinking like, well, he's not gonna die. That's death is gonna be metaphorical in some way. And then I was like, oh no, he really died.
No, he's
but
really dead
but he's
now.
not really gonna be dead. Like,
Right,
they're gonna
yeah.
bring him back. That's
Yeah,
stupid.
It
Don't.
did take them a long time.
It
though.
did. They,
know?
they waited
they
5
should have
whole
asphyxiated him there.
years.
Yeah, that's a long time in Marvel. But also, when they brought him back, that was also a big thing. Like that was they
yeah?
treated that with a big pomp and circumstance. And when he came back, he had hot claws.
Hot claws?
Yeah, they were burning.
Yeah, his claws came out and they were hot.
Why does he need hot claws? They already cut through anything.
They never explained it, and then they just went away one day. Like they
Yeah.
just stopped doing it.
What's different because he had hot claws?
They're hot though.
Yeah, but in what way does that change how he fights?
Well, here's the nice thing. If
Well,
I
when
stab
he can
someone,
burn people now.
maybe they won't die immediately because I've cauterized the wound.
Yeah.
And I can stab them a lot more.
Right. But also, you're cauterizing like organs and stuff. He's gonna die.
Oh yeah, but they won't bleed out right away.
That sucks.